open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. What a magnificent Monday. I know a lot is transpiring, and thanks to Ms. Susan and so many stalwart civil servants who continually, consistently, with a constant grace and presence, ensure that our country is served. What a beautiful place we live in. What a wonderful God we serve. For those who are through prayer and petition, understand that there is purpose. We invite you to be a part of the discussion. 949-8037, 949-6990. 1 o'clock. Two other stalwart civil servants from the Department of Labor and Pensions will join us for a bit. It's going to be a good day. You know why? Because God has given us an opportunity. Say, this is the day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
A pleasant welcome. Thank you all very much for joining us. Some days we know, as our song goes, some days are diamonds and some days are stones. Some days the hard times won't leave me alone. Well, Pastor Al, a blessed memory, used to tell us, remember that, you're going through hell. That's the key. You're going through. Don't stop. Don't linger. That's not a place to tarry. The other places when you can, if you're on your way to Nineveh, but this isn't one of them. And then there's also the idea that he reminded us, hey, listen, there are things that you cannot embrace, but know and be reminded that you have the strength to endure. Well, much has transpired over the weekend that was not good for many of us, but yet we have to be purposed in our hearts, prayerful through our petitions, that as we plan and prepare, recognizing what I say, man may have his plans, but God orders his steps. Well, 949-8037, what is on your mind? 949-6990. Two other numbers to use if you want to call and share your thoughts. Here's the WhatsApp number. Use the WhatsApp, though. I don't know what other platform we may get once I have someone else doing what I do, so I can do something else that you can have done, so we do it together. Well, that number is 925-3261. And as Flo has made it a toll-free number for many who have access to the Flo platform, well, that's 1-800-534-TALK. 1-800-534-8255. Call and share your thoughts with us. Let's get to a space and a place where we have the understanding of the importance to collaborate, to make our contributions in such a way that it's not about only being competitive. Competition is good, Iron sharpens iron. I love sport. Thank my father for, he would tell you probably, other than playing marbles, probably didn't do too much in spinning gigs. But he enjoyed and participated in much sport with Mr. Dalmy on the ships. They would box, and probably part of entertainment, and probably to maybe make a couple extra bucks to send back home. That's what they did. Other than that, spinning gigs, playing marbles, and boxing would be all. Sailing was just natural and innate, and something that I shared with him. I had a wonderful, wonderful memory where it's he together with me and a grandson, and boy, we sailing. It's a simple thing, I'm not going to sing the song because after Elio did his performance Friday, boy, hard to match that. But we sing with a sense of a joyful heart. And we recognize that there are many who are suffering from the access to health care, even when they have health insurance for those who can afford it, to the cost of living. Had an opportunity earlier to sit with a family who were struggling financially, not because of bad choices, not because of employment opportunities, just as the fella said, he got more month than he has money. And, was relieved to see the press release from CUC to say, hey, next bill, your bill will be lower by, and there was a sum and a percentage given. Great. But this month's bill was a bit higher than the last month's bill. Doesn't matter if it was higher by a lot or by a little. Now, how do we ensure that we have that? Well, the phone lines are open. We want you to call 949-8037, 949-6990. And as the phone lines light up, we'll take your calls. You can also WhatsApp call 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. It's often, good to see people. I have a fantastic individual in my life for whom, that has been an inspiration to see, the endeavors, because it can be done not for self-praise or publicity, but simply because it can be done. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing. How are you today?
Good afternoon to all our listeners.
And to you, sir. How are you?
Yes, with heavy hearts about the death of my great friend, McCurley Green, who died on the 9th of this month.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and my deepest condolences to family and friends, and I know a lot of the family members from Mr. McCurley, and he was a great man. Him and his wife used to come over to the Bright many times just to look for me and spend time, pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have a cooler with drinks and food and go to the lighthouse and sit down and relax. And we used to communicate just about every day or every night of our lives. He was a shipping enthusiast. And also with the planes passing over Grand Cayman, I would call and tell him which ones they are. And he would be out in the yard sitting down in the night. And he said, Raymond, I can't wait to get over to the Bright, but I'm busy with the taxi service.
Right.
But so when I get a break, I'm going to come over. And regrettably, sadly, he never made it. Anyway, it's a very sad time, and I lost a cousin in Florida just a few days ago, Lindsay Bodden. Whoever listening to me, Lindsay Bodden has died at the age of 77. He was originally from West End, Cayman Brack, and raised up in America, my aunt's son. And he passed away, and also Gibson Connolly of Cayman Brack, which is a distant cousin of mine. He also passed away as well. So I got it on right now on three sides. Quite upsetting, but just a while ago I had a very large ore carrier, and to those people listening to me, those seamen that work with National Bulk, remembering Navios had National Bulk carriers chartered carrying iron ore from Venezuela to Mobile and Philadelphia and all of those places.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a Navios-owned ship just passed by off McCurley's house and did the tribute for him. And it was coming from Brazil loaded with iron ore pellets, all these seamen that been on ships like that.
Mm-hmm.
Navios ore carrier, 85,000 tonner, carrying 75,000 tons of iron ore pellets, going up the Mississippi River, drafting 48 feet of water. So Mississippi River had a reduced depth like the Panama Canal last year, but now it's very high water in the Mississippi River, 48 feet to take that big ore carry up there in the Mississippi River. So it was very good that we could have a Caymanian Connection Navio ship do a tribute and salute for Mr. McCurley Green while passing right off his house there in Grand Cayman a while ago. She might be able to still be seen far out on the horizon if anyone on the north side would look at it.
You know, I'm glad you're sharing what you have and you make that effort. And just listening to you, it is a sobering reminder, Mr. Raymond, that every day many of us get up and we try to put our best foot forward, recognizing how heavy our hearts are for different reasons. And here you are, continuing to do and to try to encourage and inspire and to recognize and respect others so that they're reminded of the love, So thank you for that. But thank you too for sharing with us that your heart is heavy and it's still difficult to do what you do, but you do it. So thank you very much, Mr. Raymond.
Yes, and one other comment.
Yes, please.
Mr. McCurley has transported, I'm sure, in the thousands of Americans and visitors to the island with his taxi service and McCurley Tours.
Mm-hmm.
The number of years he had one of the biggest businesses in Grand Cayman. He owned 35 vehicles, him and his wife passed away, leaving him alone with it, and he sold out all the vehicles and just kept two. His vehicle, in fact, would be on the road today. He has a Filipino guy that continues the business, McCurley Tours. So let's support McCurley Tours. Whoever in Grand Cayman, let's support McCurley Tours and keep up his traditional activities going. And he had so many friends from America that would contact him repeatedly, come into Grand Cayman to pick them up, take them to the hotels, to the condos and all of that. How many times I would call him, say, Raymond, I'm busy, I'm on the road taking some people from the airport. So I would say he would be one of the tourism ambassadors from many years ago. Yeah. We need to recognize Mr. McCurley Green as a tourism pioneer. His involvement was unlimited with the tourists coming to our islands. So let's remember him as a tourism pioneer for establishing and being very cooperative and carrying and showing around these people from all over the world, including he had special customers from Cayman Brac would come over there to go shopping, and they would call McCurley to pick them up at the airport. I know one particular young man named B.J. Walton used to go over, and McCurley used to take him around shopping and take him back to the airport. So many thanks to the great deeds that this great man has done, and I just had him remembered with the large Naviosfera passing right off his house to do the condolences for him.
Yes, sir.
And my greatest and deepest sympathy, heartfelt sympathy to all the family and friends.
Thank you for that respect and that public acknowledgement, Mr. Raymond. Thank you. And to you as well, for vulnerable loyalty and showing us that love transcends waters, man. Thank you very much, sir. And this is who we are as a people. And I know when my friend, shared of the passing, you realize how we're losing so many and how important it is for us to show that love while we can, but also continue that support for the family that remains so that legacy endures. We're going to pause, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to invite you to share your thoughts with us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Cocoa Fest is back at Pedro St. James, Saturday, 22nd of February from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Enjoy crafts, games, music, coconut-inspired food and treats, health and beauty products, and enjoy local cooks, craftsmen, artisans, and farmers through a shared love of Cayman coconut. Admission is only $15 for adults, and kids 6 to 12 is $5, and 6 and under are free. So go coconuts at Cocoa Fest and enjoy one of Cayman's culture and tradition. Saturday, February 22nd. For more info, email admin@pedrostjames.ky or contact 947-3229.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. 949-8037, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp call 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. We're going to have an opportunity at the right after the headlines at 1 to speak with our friends over at the Department of Labor and Pensions. They'll be sharing information directly. We won't take any calls at that time. You're going to be invited to submit your questions. They're very, very, very responsive. They're not only responsive in a timely way, they're responsive in a respectful way, but very informative and accurate. A fantastic team that, as they've shared with us over the years, it's not about trying to penalize and punish. It's about to get people to understand the legislation so that they're doing the right thing, because I think their ethos is that people want to do the right thing. Sometimes they may be laboring under, no pun intended, under misinformation or misunderstanding, or perhaps perception that this is what it used to be, because maybe that's something that was done and it wasn't really corrected. So they give us accurate information. They provide it through their training sessions, through your interactions with them, whether in person or in a phone call. A very accessible department. Ms. Sasha and Ms. Elizabeth and all of the fantastic team under the able, very, very competent, management of Mr. Ebanks over there. So we had a chance to chat with them, but that's at 1 o'clock. But now, some open line. 8949-8037, 949-6990. You want a WhatsApp call? Well, 925-3261, and share your thoughts with us and give us your perspective. Now, the other thing that we want you to look at very, very carefully and invite you to share with us, so that it at least starts a conversation, gets people thinking and talking and asking and responding and engaging and interacting, and ensuring that as a country we appreciate the importance of our democracy and the notion that we have something that we have been able to enjoy to date, and I pray it continues, unlike other jurisdictions where their democracy came from bloodshed and war and the like. The US had a revolution, no different than revolutions where a particular grouping of people believe that they should have a greater control and say and direction of their country. What was the charge that we've heard repeated? Perhaps even those of us who were not schooled in American education system nor in America, no taxation without representation. And then there are other countries, independent nations now right within our Caribbean, that may have felt the heavy hand of the, as they call it, their colonizers, their, despots who directed their destinies, and they thought, well, this isn't it. But in the Cayman context, we've always had people who engaged and were ensured that their voices were heard. So with that, as we go to our elections in short order, I want us to consider strongly exercising our vote. Now, for some, as you have discussions with many, increasingly they're concerned about the direction of our country. This is where we have to get involved. 949-837, 949-6990. WhatsApp call 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. If you had an opportunity to look at some of the things that are being shared, so relative to the discussions on the port, maybe we're finding that is again another indication of where, and I thank very much Mr. Loxley for calling while our guests were on Friday and saying, can we sit across the table and get a discussion and understanding of where we are? All right, the phone lines are open and we'll take the call in a second. So that one side listens, understands and respects the other so that they can share their views if in fact the intent is what's best for the country. All right, let's take the call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling. How are you doing?
I'm very thankful, my good friend. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, giving thanks as usual.
All right, man. Glad to hear that, man. Thank you.
Well, I was listening to your show, but I only chose to call in because I heard you mention the word port.
Uh-huh.
And
for people who know, not to cut you, I'm talking about the port, not the drink. Okay?
Yeah, so, and because I'm a loyal listener to Radio Cayman, I listened to OC show this morning, and the Deputy Premier was on, Kenneth Bryan, and he was talking about a wide range of different things, port being one of them, and referendum, and he mentioned that he had made some efforts to invite both sides of the issue of the port, the ACT people and the CPR and whatnot, and that CPR refused to participate and whatnot. The thing is that he's not incorrect for saying that CPR didn't want to participate or didn't participate. But I think that, in all fairness, there should be a little bit more explanation and behind the realities of why CPR didn't want to meet. I mean, we ventured down the path of triggering a people-initiated referendum for the sole purpose of that referendum being a binding document on the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that all of the people who volunteered and had sleepless nights doing this petition and getting the necessary required numbers in order to trigger a people's initiated referendum, only to be, ignored and disrespected by the then sitting government by not having the referendum, simply because they didn't want it to go down as a matter of record of being defeated by the people. Is that my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
And since then, the new introduction, and I just want to say this publicly, I want to thank Kenneth for actually engaging in having the referendum. But I can say this on the radio because if Kenneth's memory serves him good, he could remember the conversation he and I had way back when CPR was in the midst of collecting signatures, and when we finally got them authenticated through the election office, that they were accepted and that we had in fact triggered the referendum. I remember Kenneth asking the question then if they could add on gambling and the marijuana. And I said to him, absolutely not, simply because it would be a disingenuous referendum for us to have petitioned for the port and then made these two other items piggyback on it, because people didn't sign the petition for those two reasons, right? And I'm not disregarding those two items and say that they're not relevant. I'm just simply saying that at the time, the persons who signed the petition signed it because we convinced them or we had a conversation about the port and not those two items. So it would have been disingenuous for us to have added on any other thing on that referendum without the people that signed the petition knowing or being a part of it. So I heard him say that that was the reason that CPR didn't participate because we've already been duped by a government, and CPR is very jaded in regards to jumping at any opportunity. And yes, there was supposed to be a debate and a conversation, and Kenneth did offer to accommodate, and so to his credit, he did do those things, but to make it sound like we didn't show up and he created opportunity, but ACT showed up, and it almost felt to me when I heard him say it on the radio this morning as if he was favoring the other group and blaming us for not showing up at CPR, and that wasn't the case, right? And I think that when he talked about paying for CPR, this was on the show this morning on Radio Cayman, so I'm not saying anything out of turn. When he said that he had offered to pay for the members to go to the Caribbean Association conference or whatever the case was, and we could ask them the questions and whatever, and he said that CPR refused to accept his offer or whatever. Now, I can say publicly that I wasn't a part of that decision, and CPR has seemed to have taken that different direction in many different things, and that's fine. Power to them. And me being a founding member, whenever the organization name is called, obviously, I feel like I need to defend certain things because I am a part of it, and I was a part of the setup and whatnot. So I feel sometimes like I'm responsible. So I have to respond to that. I don't know about anybody else, but I can only speak for myself.
Right.
So, and this is the reason why I'm taking this opportunity to kind of clear the air, and so people don't get, confused. And because I know Radio Cayman have a lot of loyal listeners who also listen in the morning and in the afternoon. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm creating this clarity now. And I just want people to know that, this whole idea that a lot of people are pushing and perpetuating that, without a pair, we're not going to have cruise industry and boutique cruises. And I've seen, man, what's really disheartening is I've seen Caymanians who have gone out there and perpetuate absolute lies and concocted ideas in order to support their narrative, when their narrative is exactly the same as our narrative. We want to have cruise, but in a sustainable way, in a way that it doesn't destroy our environment, that it doesn't overrun our infrastructure, that it doesn't cause or deteriorate a quality experience for no tourists, whether they're stay over or cruise. And the idea that we can't all get on the same page and in order to accomplish the common good for our tourism product really saddens me, right? It really does. And when we talk about cruise tourism, Sterling, your family, I happen to went to school with one of your brothers, right? And from we were in primary school, I knew that your brother and your family was into boat tours. I could see his skin burnt from over the weekend. I telling you, we used to call his the West Bay Blondes. That's what we used to call it, because we know that they were always out in the salt water and always out there,
Yep.
And the funny thing is, Sterling, is I don't know why no one on either side of the table, including the government, is talking about why are we not controlling the lion's share of all tours and operations in the Cayman Islands. Why are we letting the cruise ships levy one tour operator or one bus operator against the other so that they can get the cheapest price and bag as much money as they can, right, on the onshore excursions? But I don't hear government talking about it. I don't hear the ACT talking about it. I don't hear CPR talking about it. I don't hear anyone talking about how is it that we don't have a set price for tours in different categories and say, look, this is what we charge, this is what we need to get. Now, whatever you charge your guests is up to you. But this is what our operators, our bus drivers, our taxis, our tours, this is what each sector collects per head. Now, that's what we need to be paid. How come? And during COVID, when we had that huge reset of tourism where nobody was coming, that was the perfect opportunity for us to have implemented proper structure so that all of our tour operators... And the reason why that would have been important, Sterling, because now the very same people who out there flying this flag about build a pair because we need more people, you know why they need more people, Sterling? It's because they only making $6-7 a head in some tours. But if we were getting value for our tours, we wouldn't necessarily need more people. We would be quite okay with the number of people we got now, because and I'll just speak hypothetically, for the tours that are charging $30 a head now, because they're competitive, could have been getting $70 a head. That's equivalent to two extra people, to an extra person and a half. Right? So you didn't necessarily need the bodies. And mine, you know, I know what the first argument can be. Oh, well, you're not gonna pay that. Let me tell you something. I went to Mexico. I sat down in that conference and I listened to the cruise line strategy. You listen to me. Every strategy that they were putting on that table, Sterling, was how to make more money on their onshore excursions, because they know what they make on the ship. So their strategy was keep the passenger on the ship as long as possible, and if they do have to get off the ship, make sure that we control what money they spend on shore and how much we get out of it. But here we are sitting back here thinking that the cruise ship's doing us a favor by coming here, you know. That's what we believe, you know. Listen to me. We need to set up a cost structure for every tour, every bus driver, every taxi, everything that accommodates tourism. We need to set up a price structure bracket that, look, this is what we get for taxi excursion, for bus excursion, Stingray City, this snorkeling, cheeseburger, whatever it is. These are the prices that we collect here. Now, whatever you want to charge your guests, you go right ahead. But we just know that person on the ship come forward with what our structure is. And they're not going nowhere, Sterling. They're not going nowhere. They're going to come here. Anyway, I just think that all of the arguments from the government side, from the ACT side, and everything has become so frustrating that people don't know what to even think anymore.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you putting it on the table, as it were, but as you go to, disconnect, I had a conversation with someone earlier who said, hearing this idea of, boutique cruise, does that conflict with the maker ships concept, where you got a whole pile of people? So his view, maker ships mean cattle herding, boutique mean something different. But thank you for sharing it, all right?
No problem, man. Have a good day.
All right, you too. With that, we'll pause and take a break, and then we'll return. We invite you to join us.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board our uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. It's open line until we head up to the headlines at 1, and then we'll have an opportunity thereafter to join our friends from the Department of Labor and Pensions. But to the caller's point just then, a listener sent in a question. I wonder if we would ask the community whether on the for or against the port, what their thoughts would be on a cruise port board to become a portion of the current port authority, with 4 people from each side and the governor being on the board to discuss this. So the person mentioned, as we move forward the port project with the board designed to ensure competitiveness for local vendors, environmental mitigations, and long-term vision. This would offer both sides, to mitigate the others' concerns while ensuring Caymanians benefit economically from the whole program. Now, I read it to you as it was sent in that notion and see what you think. It's important, I think, as this comment sort of shares, to us to start to ask questions and to think and to question and wonder to what we can put on the table that would do. On the face of it, this sounds good. The immediate response would be with the governor on the board as sort of, the arbitrator, that person serving as the mediator. You again potentially, create more politics within certain offices, as we are perhaps apt to avoid politicizing the civil service any further than those who may allege would be then in this case being doing that the same thing with the office of the governor, or constitutional amendments and some of the other changes that we've taken relative to who chairs finance committee, who sits and presides over the legislative assembly. There was a time when the governor was president. Some would say that probably would be a good practice. Some would say you get increased value for money. You have that objectivity. You already have the individual being paid, so you don't need an increased cost of one other person. If that person is an elected member serving as speaker, then that elected member who is also speaker may be constrained with respect to what his constituents can get. All right, we do have a incoming WhatsApp call. Let's see if we can snag that if possible. If not, we will take it later. And let's see how it works. It works. 949-837. We'll head to the news in moments. Let's go to the phone and say welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Sterling. How you doing?
Very well. How about yourself?
Yeah, not doing too bad myself. Just wondering about this referendum thing again. It doesn't seem to be any rules around a referendum, because with a question like the way that referendum is written and is asking, it leaves more questions than anything else. So I just wonder, and I would think something like that can be approved by Parliament and everything would have all the relevant business case to it. All three the things that you're gonna vote on, the gambling, the marijuana, and the port, that they were gonna have the proper business case attached to it and ask the people the question. I mean, I don't think we're in this day and age that something like that could have been passed in Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mystery. That like asking somebody to vote for something behind curtain number 1, number 2, or number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just vote for it, and you don't know what's behind it. It's a gamble. So I mean, I'm even surprised that if there is a watchdog over us, which should be the FCO, that they allowed something like that to went through in Parliament. I mean, if we're not the laughing stock of the world, I don't know why it's. You know, just think about it. I mean, the question doesn't have any detail to it. There's no cost attached to it. There's no telling where it gonna be or any other detail to none of the questions to the marijuana. What gonna happen to it? Are we gonna grow it here ourselves? Are we allowed to grow it ourselves in our home and all that kind of stuff? What gonna happen to the money for the gambling? Who gonna sell the numbers? Will people be given a license or a permit to sell numbers, or a company gonna come from another place and run it, or what? I mean, you know, it's ludicrous.
Not enough information.
I'm thinking, how in the world can a question like that be passed in Parliament, and all of them that vote for it? I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about them, or I know what to think about them, but I can't say it on the radio. You know, for you to agree with that, with a question like that, and for that to be passed in Parliament, a referendum that doesn't have a relevant business case or anything attached to it, and they just passed it and went through. You know, I'm astonished, man. It come in like none of rules just depending on who make them.
Well, as you share that, I thank you, and respectfully, let's see if we can go to the news. But the caller always makes great points. We can invite you back when we hit the open line segment again. Good point. He says more information. You know, maybe as you know what, like you say, don't say anything right now. Let's pause. Let's take the break. Join us after. Our friends from the Department of Labor and Pensions will be our guests.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency and Wellness National Tree Planting Program has successfully planted 710 native and endemic trees since its launch in 2022. The initiative aims to create green spaces for community enjoyment and education while supporting local biodiversity. Launched during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, the program involves partnerships with businesses, community groups, and public schools. In 2024, 122 trees were planted, mainly on public school grounds, with active participation from students and staff. In regional news, in Bermuda, Information Commissioner Guertes has instructed the Cabinet Secretary to decide by the 11th of March whether an external report from September 2023's cyber attack should be made public. The report delivered in November 2023 examined the cyber attack that disrupted government services. The Royal Gazette reported that the Cabinet Office has faced criticisms for delays and lack of clarity regarding the report, with calls for an apology and compliance with public access to information legislation. In Guyana, the Ethic Relations Commission is investigating native remarks made by David Hines, co-leader with the Working People's Alliance, on his online show last month. The ERC believes that these statements could potentially sow division and disrupt social harmony. The commission is reviewing the broadcast and assessing its impact. President Ifran Ali has criticized the media's silence on Hines' comments, which he has described as racist and designed to instill fear among the population. That's your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott enjoyed a fulfilling career at sea, spanning more than 50 years. He was ahead of his time, employing his mathematical and computer skills to create payroll software, depth charts of Georgetown Harbor, and his pride and joy was his weather program that could detect when a storm formed anywhere in the world and was able to track and forecast its path. He had 6 children and was married for 52 years to Bernadette Silva, whom he met during his tenure in Brazil. In 1954, when Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II visited, Captain Scott had the distinct honour shaking the Queen's hand and piloting the Royal Yacht Britannia and anchored it in the Georgetown Harbour. Captain Scott was a humble man who liked his khaki suit and cap and loved to share his knowledge with those who crossed his path. He was honoured at the National Heroes Day, acknowledging the seafaring heritage of these islands.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as we welcome our friends from the Department of Labor and Pensions, as we shared, earlier as we were promoting this discussion, we won't be taking any calls in this segment. We'll give them an opportunity to share, and invite you to be able, to get direct responses. But let's not belabor it too much as we get into our discussion. With Ms. Sasha Rankin-Ricketts, the Senior Labour and Pensions Inspector, together with her colleague. Ms. Sasha, you would do the intros, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming on board. Welcome.
Thank you for having us again. This is our second favorite place to be, apart from DLP.
Oh, I thought it was lunch was to be the best. I don't feel so bad now.
No. So I have with me today my colleague, Senior Labour and Pensions Inspector, Ms. Elizabeth McIntosh. And of course, I am Senior Labour and Pensions Inspector Sasha Rankin-Ricketts, and I am the gratuity officer for the department. But that gratuity topic is for another day because that's a conversation in itself. So we're here today just to talk more about our training that we do. And, the first thing before we even get into the training, a lot of people forget our purpose. Like, why are we here? What do we do? So mainly our mission is to literally educate That's first and foremost. We want to educate everyone out there that's willing to learn. And we engage with people when it comes to the Labor Act. And if we have to, last but not least, we will enforce the Labor Act.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our main mission, and our purpose here today is to, again, motivate and encourage people to come out to learn more about the Labor Act.
And this legislation, it affects us all, as employer and as employee.
And employees.
Yeah. And it's important that we know. And I like how you make it accessible.
Yes.
So thanks for that educational sort of approach.
Yes. And one major thing is that you did say that it's available and it affects us all, but the Labor Act is only for those in the private sector. So it's not for the government entities or the authorities. Some authorities may fall under the Labor Act, but it's for private sectors.
Mm-hmm. So whether you're an employer or an employee,
it affects both, and we're here for both of them.
Yeah.
So we don't take sides. We're neutral.
And I think something that you've shared, hopefully I did not misunderstand, but that's individual who owns his or her own business and is his or her own employee. The labor legislation applies to that person as well.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So if you're working in the private sector, unlike core government, the labor legislation applies to you.
That's where you come. You come to us.
Yeah. Well, we want to hear what you're going to be sharing. I know you've had your regular training sessions on different facets.
Yes.
So take us through so we can learn.
All right. So I'm going to have Miss McIntosh. She's going to go through the training sessions and give more information on that part of the show.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us here again. As Miss Sasha said, this is our second favorite place to be. So, as you know, the Department of Labor and Pensions offer training throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
We cater for four training during the year, quarterly. However, if it's any company that would like to have a private training that is a big company, we can cater for that as well, as we have done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So our first training for 2025 is coming up on March 20th, and it will be a half-day training starting at 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. It will be conducted at the South Zone Civic Center, and just be reminded, you have a small cost for what you're going to learn after you finish that training. Is $75 per attendee, and this includes the knowledge that you're going to receive, even if you're an employer or employee. It's benefit for both parties, and you will be leaving with a certificate signed by our director, Mr. Ebanks. Along with, you will have some refreshment during the half-day training.
Money well spent,
Yes. I think it's a small sum to what you will be learning, because at a certain point we will be either employee or employer. And to have the knowledge to know what your entitlements are and also what your responsibilities are is priceless.
Mm-hmm. If I may just make sure that we don't misunderstand, but I gather as well that someone who may have worked and are now retired or no longer in the employment full time, that labor legislation still affects us to some extent, right?
Right, as long as they're working. I mean, if they're retired, the only thing that would be potentially affected would be the pension aspect of it. But as long as you're considered an employee, then you have the rights that is stated and specified under the Labor Act.
Whether that's full-time or part-time or seasonal or what, once you're some sort of an employee.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So the training session, like Ms. McIntosh did explain, it is on March 20th. But what I want her to kind of let your listening audience know is basically some of the topics that we're going to be discussing, because these are the things that encourage people to come out, because you have employees that will be of the opinion when they do come and they socialize, they get to know other people in their industries or other industry, and when they leave, they leave with added knowledge because they may be doing something one way for so many years. And because of asking questions during that forum, it's going to be 4 of us officers that's there. So you have lots of knowledge that, one of us must be able to answer your questions. If not, we'll take it down and we'll go back to our, senior management team, get the relevant information and get back to them. So Ms. McIntosh will just enlighten us on some of the topics that they can look forward to discussing during that time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the famous topic and coming up soon that we have Ash Wednesday coming up around the corner is always the questions about public holidays and how to pay public holidays. So that will be one of the topics we'll be going over. All your leave entitlements: maternity leave, sick leave, vacation leave, compassionate leave, all the leave that is covered under the Labor Act and you're entitled to. We'll also be touching like minimum wage, how minimum wage apply to the different department or sector that you work, such as the hospitality industry versus other industries. We also be touching the overtime, which is a hot topic as well. Overtime waiver as well. The different claims that you might or might not be entitled to depends on what you are asking for, such as what the Labor Tribunal might be dealing with as well, or other cases that might seek legal advice elsewhere, like the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. So we'll also go and touch some about severance, everything that is covered in the Labor Act. We will do our best to touch the topic. But also, we have some industries that come with specific questions, and my colleague mentioned earlier, such as gratuity. Gratuity is a very extended topic, so we will touch gratuity, but not in depth, and we will do our best to program a separate training for gratuity.
That in itself is such a part. And it's not just the hospitality sector or the restaurants alone where gratuities, come into play.
Yeah, so you have restaurants, hotels, bars, so anyone that falls within that in that industry where there are service employees. So that is a not too long process, but it is something on its own that it would take maybe 2-3 hours to go through in depth with those that is really being affected by gratuities.
Yeah. And with that said, it'll take a lot of time to number every single topic that we will be going through. But as well, we're going through one very, very important part of the Labor Act, which is your statement of working conditions. And a statement of working conditions, some people will say, oh, I have my employment contract. Statement of working conditions is the employment contract complement each other, because it's specific things that need to be in your statement of working condition, such as what your employment title is, what hours you're going to be working, how much you're going to be paid, your entitlements, as I mentioned earlier, vacation, public holiday, sick leave, maternity leave, etc. He mentioned in detail what the employer is expecting from you and what you should expect from your employer. So that and much more.
And there's the employment contract as you shared, then there's the statement of working conditions. Can the statement of working conditions be in the contract, or do they need to be 2 separate documents?
It can be in the contract. A lot of companies merge them together. The difference is that there are some agreement that you can come under your employment contract that is go above what is stated in the statement of working condition in accordance to the Labor Act, right? But to be in line with the Labor Act, you need to have in your employment contract, if that's the only thing you want to provide to your employee, the list of what I just explained to you, which is also noted in the Labor Act Revision 2021.
Okay. And again, this is where that employer or one of the employer's designated employees should attend on behalf of the company, or you, the employee itself, getting a better understanding so that you are better informed.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
we do have employees that come out on behalf of their companies that they represent, such as HR managers or HR officers on a whole. But we do see situations where those people that come out representing the companies end up having to, come out and represent themselves because they too have employment, situation that they have to deal with. So they benefit both ways because, yes, you may be the HR manager representing the company, but you cannot forget that you're still an employee as well. So those benefits does affect you as an employee too. So it's good that you have knowledge both from an employer perspective and from an employee perspective.
Right. And just to add to your question earlier, for now, for those listeners out there, if they would like to know what or where to find what to be on a statement of working condition, they can visit our Labor Act Revision 2021 Section 6, and it'll give you the list will be there of what need to be part of that statement of working conditions.
Okay. And as we're speaking to, reps from the Department of Labor and Pensions, Senior Labor and Pension Inspector, I make sure I say Sasha Rank and Ricketts and Elizabeth McIntosh, because I keep saying Ebanks in my head. I gotta be careful.
Yes.
I think in the scripture it says Adam and Eve Ebanks, but that could be a mistake.
Definitely is.
But I like the fact that you are sharing in such a way that it invites people to participate. And Ms. Sasha, as you referenced, that employee who has been sort of designated by the employer to come out, whether in the HR function as an officer or manager, is also an employee. And something that you highlighted, there may be a practice in the company, not one that has just been there by a custom or even in that industry. That isn't exactly right, but it's been done. It's not egregious, but it's not actually factual and accurate.
Right.
This can help us to get it right.
Yes, and that's our goal. We don't like to enforce the Labor Act. And when I say enforce, it means that we have to potentially take someone to court for, resolving a matter. That's our last option. We try to mediate. That's our main thing. If there's an issue, if we see that you could do something better as an employer, we'll make that suggestion to you, point you to the right section of the Labor Act and say, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, this would help you, on your statement of working conditions, and it will also provide the clarity that your employee needs. Or if it's an overtime issue and we point that out to you and we ask it to be corrected, if it's not corrected, then we have actually tried our best to get it resolved without it going through the court system. But we don't have any issue taking them there. If they want to go down that road, we'll walk with you. Our job is to make sure that there's compliance with the legislation. And while we don't defend, or we don't, the employee is not, we're not lawyers. So they're not our clients. We're just here to enforce the Labor Act. Have there been a breach of the Labor Act? If there is, then that is what we represent. The Labor Act, not employee, definitely not the employer. So, a lot of times we have to make that absolutely clear that we do not represent either party, even though we get told off a few times by both parties that we're here only for the employee. But again, we're here to enforce what the Labor Act says. Unfortunately, there may be something that a person may think that should be in the Labor Act, but if it's not there, as officers, we can't enforce it because we don't write the legislation, we just enforce it.
And I like you share that, because a company, for instance, or an individual may have this, in their word, this policy, this is how I do it. Yeah, but this isn't what the law says. So
Correct.
that might be a good practice.
Yes.
Until it's law, it shouldn't necessarily override the law.
Yes, and we do have our inspections team as well that supports they go out and they do random inspections, which they also help employers when it comes to their contracts or the statement of working conditions. If they find policies or procedures that are in place that does not fall in line with the Labor Act, Now, mind you, those can be above what the Labor Act says. The minimum wage is $6, but you could pay somebody $20, $100 an hour if you wish, as long as it's not below that. So our inspections team mainly focus on the company aspect of it, and they will give advice to what they can do to make their statement of working conditions better and determine if there's overtime, help them to become compliant as well. But I do know they are also working on a date to come on and speak more about what they do as a unit, so that your listening audience can look forward to as well.
If I may ask then, in relation to the next training, as you look at some of the topics, would one of the potential topics be the powers of your department, what inspections look like, how they can, so that people understand, as you shared,
Right.
you're about to educate, you're not there to penalize or punish, but if the law needs to be enforced, what do you, like you put it, we walk there with
We'll
you.
walk the road. We'll walk that road with you. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But again, that's not our main objective. We're all about mediating, sitting, working with employer, working with employee
Resolution.
to resolve that matter. But if we can't, and we've showed every effort to do so, then our only option is to enforce.
Okay. Now, Ms. McIntosh?
Yeah, so to touch back a little bit on the training. So, how to register? How to register to our training? You can visit our website and you can register on our website. You'll see the form, you can fill it out, submit it, and one of the officer, myself, one of the senior officer will get back to you and let you know that we have received your application, you have been registered, etc. So, and how to pay. Unfortunately, at this time we only receive payment by bank draft or check payable to the Cayman Islands government, and it should be paid at our department, which is located at the second floor at Midtown Plaza. And for who don't know where Midtown Plaza is right where Peppermints and Butterfield Bank's Domino Pizza is located, right across from their roundabout, Cayman National roundabout, and we are on the second floor.
Okay.
And also you will see us advertising our training on our social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, which my colleague will explain a little bit more further. And any question, we are there to answer, and we invite you to come out. Even if you just want to pick up the phone and ask a question, even if it's not related to the training, just pick up the phone, ask a question, and it's totally confidential. You don't have to give your personal information, your name or anything. Just general question, we answer it in accordance with the Labor Act, and we guide you same way, and it's confidential.
Just competent, committed staff, but who keep it in confidence, right?
Correct.
Because some employee, mostly employee that is on a work permit, they are afraid to come out and ask questions or know what their rights are. And I invite them to come, ask whatever you need to ask, whatever you're not sure of. Because remember, if you are an employee, you have rights. And regardless if you're on a work permit, you're a Caymanian or not, everybody has right. And feel free to ask us what your rights are, and we'll be happy to assist you.
Yeah. I mean, just in that, the employee may think this is what the employee can do, and want to realize that, no. And then if there's a sanction from the employer, if you had known better, you may have avoided that practice,
Correct.
resulting in you dismissal or some sort of sanction.
Right.
So know your rights as opposed to what you think.
Correct. And that is also another main topic. That topic takes us a couple of minutes during each training session, when it comes to termination, when to terminate, how to terminate. Now, we don't ever tell an employer, go ahead, in raw Cayman language, go fire him. Just fire him. No, we don't do that. If you call us and say you have a situation, we'll send you to Section 52 and 53 of the Labor Act, which deals with misconduct and with performance issues. That the Labor Act is very, very clear as to how you can deal with those issues as an employer, that you can protect yourself. Now, it still doesn't stop an employee from thinking and believing they were unfairly dismissed, because they still have the right to file for unfair dismissal. But you would have had that comfort to know that you've done what the Labor Act requires of you as an employer.
That way you know for sure. So, all right. I know to our listeners, we shared that we won't be taking calls in order to allow our team from Department of Labor and Pensions the opportunity to share about the upcoming training. But I know if there were questions and the like, we can take some, you can email, you can share, or you can get. And I can say publicly that you have responded in the past to questions posed to us that we've submitted to you. You've responded, we read them on air. So thanks for doing that.
No problem.
And in a timely way too, with chapter and verse.
Oh, we have strict guidelines. Our boss, who is listening, tell us we have 24 to 48 hours. So we have to ensure that we work within that, that remit of time, because everybody is on strict, timelines, and time is of the essence, and we have to respect other people's time. So responding to queries, whether it's on their phone or email, is top priority for our office.
Here's an WhatsApp question that we'll submit to you, but I'll just read it. Because many times employees have questions, or employers have questions. This one writes, can I, as an employee, be forced to repay my permit and my airfare?
So that the work permit is something that we always get. Now, that is our work matter. Our legislation doesn't allow us to deal with it unless it is something that has been deducted from their salary. Then it becomes an unauthorized deduction, and that is an offense under the Labor Act. Now, I can go as far as saying work permit fees should not be deducted from anyone's salary. But as to say the implications from that, the work department would definitely have to, give further details in that. And if it's their airfare, that is an agreement between employer and employee. If they agree to it in writing, sign, even if it's a verbal agreement, that is something that they've made with the understanding before they start their employment with the employer to say, I will repay you for my airfare. Now, that is not something that is outlined in the Labor Act. So that is, in addition to your benefits outlined in Section 6 of the Labor Act, this is also something that you're going to be required to do. So if you sign that with your airfare, then we can't say to the employer that, no, you can't pay that.
Yeah. And these are contractual agreements.
Exactly.
So, again, sometimes people may see it and go, well, whatever, but the deduction from the salary for, say, a work permit fee isn't allowed.
Right.
But if I'm hearing you correctly, if the employer and then the prospective employee say, listen, your work permit fee is X, you agree to pay for this over time, can that happen?
No. I mean, like I said, it's a work related matter, but every employee should have the understanding that it is the employer's responsibility to deal with any work permit, any aspect of the work permit. And if they're not sure, then they could call the work department and they could reconfirm that for them as to what is the responsibility of the employer.
Yeah. And not to well, maybe that actually just for further clarification. The employer takes the permit. It's $1,000 for the employee on the agreement that, okay, the employee will pay for it up front before it even started. Even to that, it should be no.
Right. And I mean, we do see situations where employees are not aware that is, the legislation of the Cayman Islands and that it is illegal. So they may say, yes, I'll do it. But then when they come to find out it's a problem. So we try to have these sessions go on air to let employees know from get-go, look, there are authorized deductions and there are deductions that are just blatantly unlawful. That should not happen. So I'll give you an example. If you get a loan from your employer, and that employer, I mean, it is an internal policy to give you a loan, and you say, okay, I give you authorization to take $100 from my pay every week. That's an authorized deduction that you sign giving that employer permission to take from you. So that's not illegal. You understand? And again, that deduction can't be more than 1/4 of what your pay is for that period.
But even though it's authorized and legal, there are legal requirements to say it cannot be this.
Exactly.
So the guidelines by law to guide it.
Right, because
Okay.
they have to be able to sustain themselves.
Okay. All right. We're going to pause and take a break. I invite you to share more with us when you come back. Here are things that we're going to learn, especially on the upcoming training session on the 20th of March. Another important day in March. I'm going to pause and take a break. Please join us right after.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Hey, Bill, glad to see you back in the office. Who? Bill.
Oh, sorry. I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No.
Alex.
No. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Britke. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mark Mike John Sean.
It's Mordecai.
Hi, I'm Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, and I'm excited to announce the DG's 5K Challenge is just around the corner. We kick off things in Little Cayman on March 9th, followed by Cayman Brac on March 16th, and the grand finale on Grand Cayman on March 30th. This year, we're supporting the Cayman Islands Girls Brigade, the Cayman Islands Scouts Association, and the One-to-One Foundation, each helping to shape our next generation. Join us in making a positive impact. For registration details, find us on Facebook at DG's 5K Challenge.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to the fantastic team over at the Department of Labour and Pensions, and to the Senior Labour and Pensions Inspectors, Sasha Rankin-Ricketts, and her colleague, Miss Elizabeth McIntosh, for joining us. So you have a training session, you say, coming up on the 20th of March at the South Sound Community Centre?
Right. So right now it is listed at the South Sound Civic Center, but this location may change. If it does, we would reach out to those that are registered during the registration process to let them know where the new location may be. So, we don't want people to just show up there, but as officers and Miss McIntosh, who is in charge of that area, she would reach out and if it changes.
Okay, and it's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Correct.
With a $75 registration fee. All right.
Yes.
Now, any and everyone, as you said, probably would benefit from just attending the training information you receive. But are there particular people I can immediately see, HR personnel, but sometimes employees may get together and say it's your day off, or the group of us are having some questions. Let's designate somebody to go.
Yes,
that could benefit as well.
It can, and we do have specific entities who choose to send just random employees. So they'll have a section of their office, a few people not in HR, just random, regular employees. And again, it builds the knowledge of those employees, but it lessens the disciplinary actions that you have to take as an employer, because the employees are now aware of what their rights are and what can happen if they don't do what is expected of them as an employee. Right.
And I would venture as well that sometimes we think people working in a particular sector, hospitality, construction, maybe those who would benefit more, but the financial services in other areas as well.
Every entity that is not a government body is affected by the Labor Act. And be it that you're an employer, employee, you can always learn from coming out to these sessions. We are ourselves, sometimes we have to depend on each other to help through a specific section. We're not experts, and we also learn every day, so you can always learn. As much as you may think the Labor Act in and out, you can come out and you can learn from somebody else. And we learn from our clients, or from the people that attend these sessions. We learn from them as well. They give us insight into how they operate, and if it's something we can help with during that session, we do. If not, one of the good things is that they have that direct access to us. They know who they're speaking to, so they don't feel away by picking up the phone and calling Miss McIntosh or myself and say, "Hey, Sash," which shouldn't call me Sash, but I have a question, and you feel confident and comfortable doing it because you know who you're talking to.
Yeah. And with that too, I'm also the view that many companies will send employees on different training courses facilitated by different organizations as part of that personal learning and development. Here is a course that would benefit that employee, but also, as you said, other employees and the organization. So there's a discussion. We always go to somebody. What do you think that person actually knows, has a factual basis for sharing? That could reduce the disciplinary, could make performance and productivity, but also could make the company, that much more, sort of
enjoyable to work, and they both operating on the same level. Now, our website, which is, I love our website. It's so user friendly. Not saying other agencies' website isn't, but ours, I know for sure is. This have all of the information on it. So our website is www.dlp.gov.ky. So if they go on our website, they'll find all of this information as it relates to the training session. So they would go under our resource tab, and that resource tab is exactly what it says. It has all the resources that you may need as it relates to a labor unit, even pension unit and the inspection unit. Everything is on there. So under the public awareness training sessions, you would find all of our dates stated there. If you're interested, say, for example, the following one is on June 11th. If you're interested on that and you click that tab, it'll take you to where you can actually select the fillable form. We believe in sustainability, so printing is a last option for us. So we try to make everything, accessible online, where you fill it out, submit it by email. So all of that information of every session is there. It gives you an overview of the 4 sessions. So first is March 12th, second is 11th of June, the third session is August 20th, and the last session for the year is November 12th. So as they get closer to each one of these sessions, we're going to be promoting it on our social media pages, which is our Facebook page, with Department of Labor and Pension. And then we also have our Instagram page, which is DLP Cayman. So we're promoting ourselves everywhere possible. We're making employees and employer know these things are available to you. Mm-hmm. It's not that they're not. We have our labor app that we post. We have the pension app. Everything is on our website. The forms are there, a registration, gratuity registration, and most excitingly, we have calculators, that is on our website. So when I say calculators, like what type of calculators? Maternity leave calculators, which is the big thing. We have a lot of maternity leave questions. And the bigger one, which is vacation. A lot of time people call in, well, I've worked for 7 years. What is my vacation entitlement? You can go onto our website, put the information into the vacation calculator, and it will tell you what your entitlement is. Now, disclaimer, our website and our calculators could only give you what you put in. So if you put in inaccurate information, you will not get correct information from that system. So you can't say DLP said. No, DLP said based on what you put in, that it's X. So just be mindful that, if you don't know what your full entitlements are, then you're not going to get correct information by utilizing the calculators. But they are extremely helpful. I used it myself up until this morning just to make sure that it is user-friendly and it's, anyone can use it. You don't have to be an accountant to use our calculators. It's very straightforward.
Yeah, but what you put in is determine what you get out, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. So if you know your entitlement and those calculators help.
It does help.
Okay. And I thank you for that, because many times we look at how challenging it is. Sometimes just the approach to law can be daunting. You read it and you're not quite sure, what does that mean? How is it applied and interpreted? Your training sessions help. Now you have 4 training sessions for the remainder of the year. You've on your calendar, all things being equal, these are the dates. So the company and the employee can now start to plan.
Right.
I can't do this one, but the other one's coming up. I can structure around it.
Yes.
And each one is different, right?
Well, each one, we share basically the same information. But like my colleague said, if you have a company and you have specific issues that you would like us to do a session just for you and your company, we're more than happy to do that as well. So we'll either, depending on the size of the group, we'll invite you to our office and we'll do the training session there on that specific topic that you may need guidance on. So while the training sessions, yes, it is basically the same training material for all 4 sessions, we have those specific sessions that we offer anyone that requests them as well.
And those requests can be made directly to your office?
Directly to our office. They can email us at dlp@gov.ky.
All right. We've got another scheduled break. And then when we come back, please remind us, share anything new that you want, repeat as you wish. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board our uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Attention Radio Cayman listeners, Radio Cayman is excited to announce the launch of our new listener survey. Visit Radio Cayman's website, Facebook, or Instagram pages. Take the survey and help shape the future of Radio Cayman.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Vendors. Last call for vendors for Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day. The 56th Annual Agriculture Show. Position your business and products in front of tens of thousands of people in one day at the Stacy Watler Agriculture Pavilion in Lower Valley. Ash Wednesday, March 5th. Contact Kelly Holding on 623-8822 to book your vendor stall today. The 56th Annual Agriculture Show. Ash Wednesday, March 5th.
Attention all residents of Savannah and surrounding areas. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman PACE Committee invites you all to their prostate and colon cancer awareness meeting on Thursday, February 27th at the Savannah United Church, starting at 7 p.m. Guest speakers are Dr. David and Dr. Mubin from Grand Harbor Medical, who will be discussing colon and prostate cancer diagnosis, treatment, and prevention. Men, come out and get your PSA test done for free. Remember, early detection saves lives. Refreshments will be served.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. And from the Department of Labor and Pensions to the Senior Labor and Pensions Inspectors, Sasha Rankin Ricketts, together with our colleague Elizabeth McIntosh. You know, the way you present law and labor legislation in particular, it's accessible. Yeah. It's almost well, I wouldn't say comprehensible. Well, you seem to make it that you can understand it, at least after your training sessions. Yes. No, but it's good that you do that, because I think many times we don't appreciate how we are reluctant because we think, well, we don't understand that and it's going to be difficult to show us up. But you just share things that I've learned every time.
Yes. Every time we come, we try to instill some knowledge in you too.
And you do. I come away, at least at that time, remembering it. But again, as we get near our end of our discussion, thank you so much for taking time, for preparing for this and for sharing with us. How do we register again? And then, well.
Yes, so again, thank you too for having us. And just like to remind the public that our next upcoming training is March 20th and is scheduled to be at the South Sound Civic Center. And to register, you can visit our website, and you can, or if you don't have access to our computer, or if you just want to know you're not a computer savage, just visit our office located on Midtown Plaza, 2nd floor. Mm-hmm. And the training have a cost of $75 per attendee. And as I said, the knowledge that you will receive will be a lifetime lesson. So $75 is nothing to pay. You'll get a certificate signed by our director, Mr. Ebanks, and will keep your belly full so you can keep focused on learning. And if you cannot attend the March training, we have training in June, August, and November. So we have training throughout the whole year. And again, as we have catered for other companies, if you're a big company and you want to be a private training session, we can assist with that as well. We can accommodate you. Just reach out to us, send us an email, give us a phone call, and we'll walk you through what we can offer to you.
If I might ask, I can see where prospective employees in a sector or employers may want to do it for their employees, but church groups, there are many people within the congregation. I was asking about it. Particular civic organizations might say, let's have a training session. Would that be something?
Well, you see, church is also exempt from the Labor Act. So, it doesn't apply to them, while we do say to people that operate a church and have employees under their organization that they should at least operate in accordance to the Labor Act.
Right.
So we're unable to actually assist anyone who have a complaint from a church perspective.
Okay. Sorry, thanks for clarifying that. I do know that churches and the government are exempt, but if the church itself, as members of the congregation, work across different areas, as the church may put on other things, this could be, they have a sanctuary hall, there's a bunch of people there as part of their congregation who are employees and employers doing a community service that might be beneficial to the church body.
Anyone that needs assistance with the Labor Act, we are here to help. If you can't come to us, then we'll figure out a way of how we can safely come to you.
All right. Now, any other spaces, I know that the law applies to the Cayman Islands. So what about getting Mr. Ebanks to take us over to the BRAC?
Now, the BRAC, we have not forgotten about the BRAC. We do have the most famous Zoom. Technology is amazing these days.
Isn't it?
Yes, so we can do Zoom meetings with anyone that may want to attend the session by Zoom. Again, it depends on our training location. We may or may not be able to accommodate them attending via Zoom on these scheduled days. But it doesn't stop us from scheduling a separate Zoom meeting if that is what is needed to accommodate our people in the BRAC. And push come to shove, depending on how much people it is, we can just take the express, hop on over.
I think it will be money well spent.
Yes, definitely.
The economy is growing. The employees there are also deserving.
Yes. And Little Cayman, I go every so often from a gratuity perspective. We can't forget our sister islands. Yeah. So they are just as important as employees and employers here in Grand Cayman.
Thank you. You make your reach, to extend to all of us.
All 3 islands. So we want to make sure that even if you don't have, the capabilities, or you don't, think that you need to come to the training session at this time, which I'm hoping that hearing us today, you would want to come, because Elizabeth and I, we know the Labor Act. We got you. We got you. We definitely going to give you the knowledge that you come for. You're going to get your money's worth. And we have 2 other amazing colleagues that will also be there that will give, the full session. You will not leave disappointed. I have people that still see me in the supermarket and be like, wait, you're the labor officer that did the training. So that makes us feel good. We 4 of us together as a team, amazing. Like
formidable, huh?
$75, you gotta come to the training session.
4 for 75.
For 7, you can't beat it.
Good deal, man.
Yes. So you can call us. If you just have a one-off question, great. Just call us. Our number is 945-8960. And, you have to select the options. Now, if you press the wrong option, you're going to get the wrong section. Okay, so just listen to the options, select the right team, and we got you there too. We're going to answer those questions for you. Just be mindful, there are different options. So be patient, listen to it, select the right one. We'll answer you there.
and I've been told that the training sessions are not just informative, but fun.
They are fun.
You make it in a way that, and for me, I learn better when the environment is conducive to learning.
Exactly. And I'm not in for just, the law says this. It become boring after a time, because we too attend training sessions and we know how it feels like just to sit there and hear someone to talk when you could just read the information yourself. So it's very interactive. We want to hear from you. Tell us how you see the Labor Act, how you use it, and we'll have that interactive conversation. And everybody benefits. Sometimes they tell us a little bit too much, but it is good fun.
Knowledge is empowering, man.
Exactly.
Well, now it is the 20th of March.
Correct.
Is there a cutoff point at which time people have to register?
Well, yes. So we encourage everyone, because we have a lot of demand for this training, and we don't want you to register and then you don't attend when somebody else might be interested in attending and miss out on that opportunity. So we encourage everyone that register to make payments. To make payments 10 days before the training session scheduled to happen. However, in order for you to secure your spot, the first thing is to register. Once you register, then we'll move on from there and tell you how many days you have to make payments. Because our aim is to educate, so you go out and know how the Labor Act works.
Okay.
Y hablamos español.
See, I was going to say, we have many people who are, fluent in other languages and whose first may not be English. So, en español, por favor.
Yes. So at the Department of Labor and Pensions, we have a few inspectors that do speak Spanish. And we know Cayman have a large diversity of nationalities. Unfortunately, so far we only have Spanish speaking and English speaking. Pero hablamos español. Los invitamos a visitarnos al Departamento de Pensiones y Trabajo. Estaremos muy a gusto de atenderlos. Estamos localizados en Midtown Plaza, en el segundo piso. Eso es en el segundo piso donde está la pizzería de Domino's y el banco de Butterfield. Así que llámenos al 945-8960. Gracias.
What she said.
She said the same thing you said in
English. The same thing I said in English.
Except it sounded so much better.
It sounded better when I said it.
Or when she said it, which one? I don't know. Ladies, thank you all very much. We're happy to partner with you, whether through a PSA or a quick reminder or phone call. Thanks for facilitating the training for those employers who, whether pay for or encourage their employees to come over, whether within the HR or other functions, those employees who pool their resources to send their employer. Everybody benefits. So
yes, thank you very much. And just one last thing, we have a confidential hotline as well. So those that may not feel comfortable thinking we might know who you are when you call, we're not that good. We're good, but not that good. You can call 945-3073. And our confidential hotline again is 945-3073, and that is only accessible to our senior management team. So they will get the information and pass it on where necessary.
All right. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you too. Again, thank you so much for having us here. Muchas gracias por tenernos aquí. And I want to remind our young people out there, you always on social media. Just take a look at our social media platform, because one day you're going to be an employer or employee.
Yeah, so true. Get engaged, get informed, and be a part of it. Hasta luego.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
All right, let's pause and take a break. When we come back, it'll be conducted in English because my Tagalog isn't that good. My French is, my Spanish could get me in trouble. Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Stamp Duty Rates of Duty Regulation 2025. Tabled by Premier and Minister for Finance and Economic Development, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor-Connolly, have been published and are now in effect. The regulations increase property value thresholds for stamp duty exemptions and reductions for first-time and second-time Caymanian buyers and extend these concessions to all areas of the Cayman Islands. First-time buyers are exempt from stamp duties on properties up to $550,000, while second-time buyers are charged a reduced rate for properties worth $600,000 or less. In regional news in Tobago, Albert James and Junior Thorne, who went missing for 5 days, were safely found and brought back to shore by fellow fishermen. The two men left Pigeon Point Fish Port for a fishing trip and were reported missing. They survived by drinking water and eating fish until they were found anchored off of Crown Point. The Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, initiated a search, and James' experience and decision to anchor the fishing pots helped them to stay in a specific location, increasing their chances of being found. In St. Vincent, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has threatened to sue social commentator Jomo Thomas over alleged defamatory remarks made during a radio program in January. Attorney Graham Bollers is demanding an apology from Thomas, warning of legal action if no apology is issued. The controversy stems from Thomas's comments about the death of Michelle Andrews, who had accused Gonsalves of sexual assault in 2008. Bollers accused Thomas of making false and malicious statements driven by motives. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments February 22nd to the 28th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And as we invite you to be a part of our discussion for Open Line, as you call and share your thoughts. Special thanks to all the fantastic civil servants, and in particular, good folks over at the Department of Labour and Pensions for reminding us of their upcoming training sessions on the labour legislation. Two of their senior labour and pensions inspectors, Ms. Sasha Rankin-Ricketts and her colleague, Ms. Elizabeth McIntosh, for just joining us. The next training session is on the 20th of March. It's scheduled now for 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the 20th of March. The South Sound Community Center. Register and pay at least 10 days prior. Well, let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Dwayne.
Hi. How are you today?
Hi, fine, thanks. I can never tell if you're talking immediately to, which caller.
Oh, okay. What could we do, if I may ask, that would make it so that you know that you're next? What would help you?
Let's say the last 4 digits of the number or something like that.
Okay.
Of the number. If you can see it, that is, I should say.
Yeah. No, if we could, we won't say that because probably data protection, but yeah.
Or the last 2 or so. I don't know, because sometimes you'll have callers on different lines or on WhatsApp. I know you say, let's take this WhatsApp call, but then sometimes you say, just let's take this next caller. But anyway, it's now my turn. I just wanted to touch here on the 2 ladies that were on from the Labor Department. It was a very informative sit-down discussion, and I'm glad to hear that they're having a training.
Mm-hmm. They always have yeah.
Yeah. I've had a personal experience with Ms. McIntosh myself, and she's a very helpful person to interact with. And one thing that I wanted to see that I've addressed with them already, but I haven't gotten a feedback, and I've also addressed it with the Chamber of Commerce, is well, for one, I'm surprised that a government department or entity is charging for these types of training, but I won't knock that. I'll leave that like that. It's just I don't think it's the norm. But anyway.
But why not though? Why not?
And this is just my view, right? Because it's not too ordinary that you hear government departments charging for training or anything of this sort. It's usually private organizations or entities or businesses. But as I said, I have reached out before and gave my viewpoint on it. And also, I did so to the Chamber of Commerce too. So it's not that I'm just, picking on the Labor Department. The other concern I had was in regards to this was that it's a $75 fee across the board, and for me personally, taking into consideration the small business owners that say, and we have a lot of those, small Caymanian business owners. Entrepreneurs that and I know people will say, well, if they can't afford $75, they shouldn't be in business. But on the other hand, we can look at it from another way to say we're investing and encouraging our small business owners, especially our small Caymanian business owners, that we always try to encourage them to avail themselves of trying to do their own businesses and so forth, especially if they're having a hard time finding a job. Mm-hmm. And these are some of the reasonings behind some of these trainings from what I understand. But I have approached them, I have reached out and asked, well, could there be a nominal fee of, say, $25 for smaller business owners of say, I think the business the trade and business, I can't remember what they're called, DCI, I believe, that they have different categories and sizes of business owners that they charge different fees for, And I was asking them, well, what about small business owners of, say, 4 employees and under, whether they could charge a nominal fee. So kind of like a different fee structure for different business sizes. The other thing that I had approached them about also, which is not in the Labor Act, and I know the Director of Labor, I got the impression there was no straightforward promise or anything like that, and Ms. McIntosh was involved in this also, when they were discussing different areas of the Labor Act, that they're going to try to be as best as they can inclusive of most of the areas of the Labor Act. Was there is a lacking in the Labor Act that covers employees. It's a gray area, I call it, that covers employees who are employed by staffing or employment agencies but working for government departments or agencies, and vice versa. So if someone finds themselves in a situation, for example, hired by a staffing agency to work in a government placement, and something happens, there's nothing in the law that covers that employee, because technically they don't fall under the Labor Act, which is for private employees, and technically they don't fall under the civil service policies as a civil service employee. So that's one thing that I would like to see them address. Like I said, I've reached out to them about this. It's about 2 years now, that I would like to see and just mention it here publicly so they can hear me, and remind them that I did reach out to them about trying to address this with the government. It may be too late now. It may be something they can do with the new administration, but it is a shortfall that myself and I know a handful of other persons who fell in a gray area where they were hired by one place or another, and there was nothing in the law that dealt with those types of employees. So I just wanted to say that, but I did, like I said, I did have a concern for the cost, and trying to encourage smaller businesses, because this training, I think, is superb, and I praise the department for putting it on. I just don't want to forget our small business owners. I don't want them to be left out, and I also think that they may not be doing, and this is my opinion again, they may not be doing as much marketing and exposure to promote it. I don't know how many people was at the last. I think this would be the third such meeting that they've had, training that they've had, if I can recollect properly. But I don't know how many people showed up or took part in those trainings. But for me, from what I've seen, and I have notifications from their website and so forth, I would like to see more marketing of these trainings to promote more interaction or more attendance, and to for employers to better avail themselves of it, and that may mean going to, and especially, I know this, Dwayne, because you're out in the media and out in the market that you're in. Let's say that we have a lot of young Caymanian business owners, trying to do something for themselves, and we have a lot of small business owners also. And I would like to see the department market these trainings in other platforms, like, say, for instance, some of these platforms that are on social media that the younger generation between 18 to 35 generally visit and fall into, like 345 and those sort of things. It may not be traditional, but social media is the place to go, and that can draw the attention of these younger entrepreneurs or small business owners to take advantage of this training. We're not going to bang them about the cost of it, even though I express my views about that, but let's not even focus on that entirely. I would like to see more marketing about the training so it can reach out to more people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think they should take it on board. Thank you very much for that, and as you shared, having it accessible and timely is important. Hey, thanks very much, okay?
Yes, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Let's take the next call, I'm told. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
How are you today?
Not too bad. How about you?
Oh, very thankful, man. Thank God for another day.
Okay. Just a couple of things, Sterling. Some time back, I asked OC about this fluorescent green paint that was paint up on the arterial way going towards Savannah, Newland, and he didn't know. So I don't know if you can find out what that is all about. But my main one this morning is, or this afternoon, should I say, is, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I know you're on speaker, it sound like, so it's a little bit, but we'd rather you be safe. So if you're on the speaker and cannot be, that's fine. If not, we are hearing you somewhat.
Let me get on my phone then.
Okay, thanks. And as a caller, makes the adjustment, certainly invite you to share your thoughts with us. That's what we want to hear from you. 949-8037 or 949-62990. You ready, sir? Okay. All right, there you are. All right. And the toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. Likewise, another option for our listeners is WhatsApp, 925-32621. You're there, sir? Okay. And one of our listeners says, on a previous caller's point, what happens if a contracted security officer is injured on a government property? And why does government hire so many foreign staff instead of hiring our own people? Is it just to save money? All right, let's try to reconnect with this caller. Yes, sir.
Yes, Sterling. Hello?
Yes, sir. Much better. Thank you for that accommodation. Thank you very much for that.
No worries. More than happy to please. Yeah, the reason my call was, that was one, but it would be nice to know what that is all done for. But I went to Hurley's earlier. It was around about 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
So the parking was a little bit tight. So I saw this one space. So I said, well, it's not a handicap parking. So I pulled in there, and this other lady was on the right-hand side of me, was kind of opening her door, so I had to really pay attention that I didn't hit her or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled up and I parked there, and this parking block is red. So I didn't see the sign or anything like that because I was concentrating on the lady next to me because I didn't want to hit her car. So when I got out the car, she was still sitting in her car with the door open. And I said to her, I don't know what this red one is all about. And she said, there's a sign in the front of it. So the sign says, police parking. I say, police parking? So what is this all about? Do you have any idea? Well, you probably not aware of it, but if you could find out what that is all about, it would be good for us as the public to know. Why are the police have to have a sign at Hurley Supermarket? Police can park. I go there a lot, Sterling, and the police officers go there a lot, and they go there to buy lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they have privilege over customers, seniors, and so forth? I don't understand this. Whose idea was it? Was it us, or was it the property, or the developers there, or the owners of Hurley's, or who was put this sign up there and this red parking block for police parking? What is that all about? Are you aware of anything like this?
I think another supermarket may have a one space similar designated as well. But as you shared that, a couple of questions come to mind, and borrowing from the HSA, expectant mother parking, senior citizens parking. Are there any other spaces in that parking lot designated for seniors or expectant mothers or the like?
Handicaps only.
Handicap only. Okay, well,
handicaps only.
So here's the other thing that came to mind. We know that under the planning laws and regulations, there need to be a prescribed number of handicap accessible parking spaces.
Yep.
So this presumed is a private property. Are they at will? Is it within their right to say, okay, we're going to designate it X number of parking for maybe seniors, maybe police or others? And if so, to what extent would that impact the available parking spaces now that they have designated specific spaces for specific sort of groups, separate and distinct from what the law requires for handicap accessible spaces? Just a question. Mm-hmm.
Sterling, why would an area be designated for a police vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that to me? You got police vehicles can park in a place once there's an emergency, right? Whether it's a yellow line or no yellow line or whatever, if it's right in front of the door, if it's an emergency, they can park any way they want. But to outright and designate a place for these guys when they're having lunch to go in there, buy their lunch, versus over the seniors and the handicapped people. I mean, come on, where is all of this rubbish coming from in this country? Who is responsible for that? I mean, don't get me wrong. If the owners of the property or the owners of the supermarket say, well, we can put this up, well, there's nothing we can do about it, right? But I would like to know, where did that came from and why do they need, I mean, it's just boggling my mind what is happening in this country, and people are about what is happening in this country. We need to rise up about these things and let everybody know that we will not stand by. There's nothing you can say to me, or nobody can say why a police should have private parking for them, for their vehicles, versus seniors or handicaps or anybody else. It makes absolutely no sense, Dwayne.
Yeah, well, I hear you and I understand. I heard a couple of messages from listeners. Listener writes, some of them existed from the pandemic when police were present most days. Listener references that in addition to, Kirk Market also has police parking. RBC also has parking spaces for the police, even for the commissioner of police.
The commissioner of police, I can understand that, right? But these guys, police officers, go there to get lunch. Why should they get special treatment over Caymanians? It makes no sense to me, Dwayne. They are probably 10 times more able than any of us seniors. But yet, we got to go and park all the way to hell down in the back. If the front parking lot is full, we got to go to the back. But yet, they get a park right almost next to the door. I mean, it just makes no sense, Dwayne. I mean,
I hear you.
Give me your honest opinion on how you feel about it. I mean, if I'm complaining and being about things that I shouldn't be, but it's those little things that get big, right? Because if you don't nip it in the bud, it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and guess what?
Yeah. Now, one of it. Yeah.
Sorry, right.
No, sorry. No, it's your perspective, and one of our listeners weighs in to remind us that parking at RBC is because the police top brass is located in that RBC in town, so that's why those spaces are not necessarily for the thing. And then it reminds us that the RCIPS headquarters are in RBC. Now, as I listen to you, it could be many things that come into play. It could be that courtesy that businesses want to extend to certain service elements, police being one. Some may want to foster that dynamic. They may look at it as a convenience tool just in case the police need to respond to something, not just within the complex, but specifically within the store. But I hear your point in that if the police vehicle with its lights on pulls up in the middle of a thoroughfare or a parking lot or a small road, that in itself will take precedence over everything else. But it's an interesting dynamic, yeah.
I don't know, Dwayne. I am just tired of things happening in this country, and nobody's letting us know, what the reason. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Not letting us know, the people of this country, what the reason. Somebody just come out and tell us what is the reason for that, and why is those green fluorescent painted on those corners? These are two questions I would like to answer.
Okay. Well, you know what? If a question, you're welcome, sir. Thank you for asking. Because if a question isn't asked, it may never be answered, and there may never be an opportunity for discussion. I believe we have time for one final call. Let's go to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you? Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. When I saw that there at Hurley's a couple of months ago too, I wonder what was the purpose to it. I say probably they have an officer on duty on the compound. You know what I mean? But every time I go there, it's empty, and Kirk has one as well too. And like you asked about the different signs at the hospital, you don't see them nowhere else. And some places ain't got no handicap service inside a business where I think half the time parking lot outside, because I have experienced it. No handicap special service in some buildings that I have been in when I was sick with my legs. But to say that if you're going to put a spot for a police officer in just about the area, grocery store yards, thank God Foster don't have it yet. I hope they don't go and do it. But what about the ambulance? What about the fire trucks and they go to various places too and need to be parked if they're not doing no fire or picking up anyone?
So would it if I listen to you, I was just wondering, would it be better? Again, just to remind, inform that the parking designated in RBC is because the police has a rented space there, right? So that's what those spaces are for, not for the bank itself. But for Hurley's and Kirk's that have those spots, would it be better in your mind? Would it be more palatable if those spaces weren't just say police only, but they would say for uniform services, police, fire, hospital, sort of, that.
Put a mixture to it.
Yeah. So that one or two or however many spaces are now identified for use only for those type of vehicles. The police vehicle, the small fire truck vehicle. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Royal Bank have the police. Some department is up in the Royal Bank there, and they're taking a majority of the Royal Bank parking lot that the customers go there and can't find a parking space, and I don't think that's really fair too to their customers.
Yeah.
But to Sterling, there's just so much foolishness going on this island. Too much foolishness, and we vote people in there for 4 years, and we can't find nobody that can stand up for us to find out why some things are being done. They're not going to have an answer for everything, right? But for God's sake, if you keep putting signs for police, this one, that one, where are the customers going to park? Who's coming to shop with you? Who's coming to shop with you? But you know what I called you for after I heard my brother on there? You know what I called you for? I want to ask you if you could, or someone listening from this government, what is happening to South Terminal? Is that going to sit down there for us, so right, for the rest of our lives? Why ain't South Terminal not being used, and why it looks so junky and so unprofessional in the tourism arena? I'll leave you with that.
All right, well, good question. Thank you very much for that, all right? And
bye-bye.
Have a good afternoon. Sometimes, we don't always ask timely. Sometimes we don't ask it seeking sufficient information, but hey, not asked, not answered. Please enjoy the rest of this wonderful day. I know many are contemplating much. Many are dealing with what sometimes can be daunting and overwhelming, what gives them, a bit of consternation. But at the end of the day, if we can align our hands and hearts, we may find that true humility, we may indeed be honored if that is first what we seek. Have a wonderful afternoon. Be safe on the roads, courteous, and as Mr. Art reminds us each day, we're not only our brother's keeper, but as we traverse the roads, as he says, listen to him on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Go back tomorrow morning as he had the Deputy Premier, current Sitting Minister for Tourism, on, and be informed of what is shared. God's willing, you'll be a part of a discussion tomorrow. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.